This is Tom from Temple 7, and you were listening to The Dan Chan Show.
Tom, welcome to the show, my friend. Thanks for joining me tonight. You're the first guest on the show that isn't just here for the music. And the first thing I knew about you was your brilliant clothing brand, which I bought into. Firstly, how are you tonight and where in the world are you?
Amazing. Well, thanks very much for having me, first of all. It's a pleasure. And I'm in sunny Cannock in the UK. And
Which, for those that don't know, is just near Birmingham-ish.
Yeah, Midlands, Birmingham. And I finished work, had my dinner, got some Jack Daniels going, and it's the perfect way to start.
Perfect, mate. Right, I'm going to dive straight in on this. And before we talk about the band, I want to talk to you about the clothing brand. Why a clothing brand? Did you see a gap in the market? Because there is a gap in the market for the clothing you're providing. I think it's awesome stuff. I'm wearing a T-shirt now of yours, Temple 7.
Thanks,
the quality is great. I'm not just bigging you up and blowing smoke up your ass. The quality is great. The fit's great. Talk to me about it. How did a lad from Canada come to start off, what should we call it, a metal clothing brand that isn't related to bands?
Yeah, it's my dark arts inspired extreme metal brand. So basically, I've wanted to start a brand for years. Absolute years. Obviously, I've done music since my teens and 20s, but the reason I haven't done a brand in the past, it really is because of you've got to have financially, you've got to be there to start up a brand, and you've got to have the time as well. And then I think the main thing for me was knowing what you wanted to do. I really want to be passionate about what I'm going to be releasing. I want to be interested in it. I want to not get bored of it after a month. So let's roll it back. When I was in school, I grew up just listening to new metal, punk, grunge, all the alternative music, and that's just never changed. And then throughout my teens and 20s, been playing in bands, and even now playing a band. Shout out Iron Tomb. It's my
we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
And I think when you listen to that music from such a young age, you're always really open to how these artists market themselves, visually, and how they market their music, and it's how different it is from the mainstream. And that always just massively interested me. And I used to have I think when I was 13, I had a massive picture of Marilyn Manson on my wall and Rammstein and Slayer with all the hundreds of other posters,
Yeah.
And I've always just loved it. And I went to college and did art. Fell in love with wall painting, and then got into tattoos and the tattoo culture, and met like-minded people. And the past few years just got really into old school death metal. I've always been into death metal, always been into, heavy music. But with death metal, the music, the attitude, the artwork, it all just goes hand in hand. And collecting vinyl records myself, when you're gonna get fucking badass death metal record when you've got the amazing artwork on there. And for me, the music and the inlay of a vinyl, everything's just a piece of art.
Exactly.
With death metal that I find, and I love going to shows and buy merch. But when I go online, I never found a brand that I could truly resonate with. I never found a brand where I wanted to buy every single piece of merch that they did and fucking wear it every day.
Yeah, I get it.
And that's why I created Temple. Plus, at my day job, I'm a designer, and I create brands for people. Not doing merchandise wise, but it was my time to finally create a brand, and I was wanted to merge my two passions, really, art and music, into one, and do something slightly different, and just what I love. And if I'm passionate about it, then hopefully it shows.
Absolutely. Now tell us about the designs. How do you do it and what are the themes behind them? Obviously we know the themes, but do you design everything yourself? Is it all in-house?
No. So basically, I can design. I'm more of a vector designer, graphic designer in that sense.
Yeah.
Whereas pen to paper isn't my forte. But when I started Temple, I knew I wanted to work with artists globally and get their name out there.
Yeah.
And find artists online who who I really admire and who have worked with some cool brands and some bands as well, but push their name out there.
Yeah,
If I can push their brand, if I can push their name and their brand, it makes them, more successful or gets them more work. So, because I love death metal, I love all the art behind it, etc. I can't do that personally,
yeah,
but what I can do is like, for like promotion, for like website, like my website that I built, like all the Klaviyo emails, etc.
yeah.
Um, I can do all that. I've got the skills to do all that, but the designs on the t-shirt, a lot of them aren't me. The artists that I want to work with, and that's what I
Good.
set out to do: work with as many artists that I can.
And I suppose that means that it's going to be quite varied. It's not going to be one trick pony. You're going to get a variation of these cool
Exactly.
tops, which is
Yeah,
a cool thing.
exactly. Yeah, I want to keep it fresh. I want to work with as many artists as I can and as many styles and subgenres of this sort of dark art illustration,
I
really.
love that.
You know,
I personally love it, mate. I personally love it.
thanks,
There's going to
man.
be more orders coming in. I'll tell you that.
I appreciate it.
So where did the name Temple 7 come from? Does it have a special meaning? Am I missing a trick here?
No, no, you're not. No. So Temple 7, it never came from a book or a lyric or a film or anything like that. Basically, I always knew I wanted to start my own brand, and I always knew I wanted a number in my brand name because I used to love a brand called Rebel 8. I just always thought they were awesome, and they've just done a collab with Misfits as well, which is absolutely sick. But because I knew my brand was going to be to do with schools and like reapers and stuff, I knew a 7 would work really well because I could use the 7
Scythe.
as a tithe.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
knew like a lot of the stuff I've got planned is to do with like occult symbolism, and I can
Yeah.
manipulate that
Love
7
that.
into symbols. But I was still and ahhing of what to what number to use. But when I was a kid, I always wanted a BC Rich Warlock. I
Right.
bought one a few years ago, and
Class.
when I and two my band were like planning to about to go into the studio, I was just jamming, and I was like, oh, it hit me. I was like, oh, I'm playing Mick Thompson from Slipknot's guitar, and he's number 7. And
Yeah.
I've wanted this when I was a kid. So
Yeah.
7 is the number. And then I came up with the Armory of Dark Arts, and that's basically to do with my website.
I
It's
like
like my
that.
website is holding the armory of all this dark art clothing.
Yeah.
And people are, my customers and anyone who interacts with us, I call them like official crypt members. We're like a bit of like we've got like a crew, we're like in a group. And so the Armory of Dark Arts is in like within a crypt, and then where's this crypt? It's in a temple.
I need to be
And
part of this crypt, man. I want to be part
yeah,
of
man, you'll be on it. That's why I got the Temple 7.
So who's your rivals? I mean, I can think of things like Blackcraft Cult and things like that. What are the things, who would be
Oh,
your,
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, ugh, I don't know.
just so the listeners out there can automatically put their head to where your designs are. If you could describe your designs on a t-shirt for those that are listening now, how would you describe it?
I really like a brand called God Machine.
Right.
I like a brand called God Machine. I believe that I do in-house designs. So they're big print, sort of dark art designs that they do themselves. They've been going for years,
Right.
and I think they're awesome.
Mhm.
And there's my mate Dan. He runs Splitting Skin. He's like a death metal company, but it's more gym based.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So he does a lot to do with the gym, and it's like gym wear, death metal
Yeah.
style.
Like it.
But mine is like from the understanding of death metal in a death metal band. I just absolutely love it, and it's my passion, And there's a lot of brands out there who do that style,
Mm.
who do that death metal-y style, but then they venture off doing other designs that isn't death metal, or it's just, I wouldn't say a fad. I don't want to be offensive, but
Of course.
you
Well,
know,
I tell you what's not necessarily annoying for me or anything else, but you've seen a lot of logos that we know and love, like this kind of black metal, death metal logos being used in quite fast fashion stuff that people who
yeah.
don't know anything about our scene are wearing. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't really like it.
I don't like it
No,
either.
I don't really like it. I didn't even like when when Topshop was doing Guns N' Roses and
Oh, I
like
know. Oh
doing
man.
Slayer, it did my absolute head in.
I tell you
I
what,
didn't
blew
like
my
it.
mind away a few years ago. I was in an H&M in Spain and there was a Danzig t-shirt,
You
like
can't be
tank
doing that.
top in the women's section. I was
No, you
like,
can't.
what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
It's like,
you can't be doing Danzig and H&M. It's
no,
not a thing.
you know what I mean? You know, it's just, so I don't know. I mean, I'm all for listen, I'm 46, but I'm all for the youth liking and
Yeah,
appreciating
man.
wearing the gear. But to wear things with these kind of like brutal designs on, they're not even into that, and they're listening
Yeah.
to hip hop or rap. It's like, oh, come on, man. Christ.
I mean, to be fair, like some of the people that have bought my clothing aren't necessarily into that style of music. They like the designs, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
Of course. From that
You know,
perspective, yeah. So
yeah,
tell us about, how we can, just before we move on to the music, do you
yeah.
ship worldwide to everyone? We've got worldwide listeners listening now. And how can people get in touch with you to see your stuff? What's your website?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, we've been going since May 23, so we're not even a year in yet. We've got absolutely loads planned. So I've just released my own coffee range as well called,
Well, I'm going to get into that, but you can talk about it now. Go on, there's your platform.
yeah. I've just released the coffee range.
How did you
Um,
get into coffee? I mean, I can understand t-shirts. It's a print on a t-shirt. Anyone can get a t-shirt made if you got a cool design. But how do you get into coffee? Because that's a different kettle of
I've,
fish.
it is, man. I just love coffee. I just
Awesome,
love
but where do you get your suppliers from? I mean, you're not going up to the
Tracy.
rainforests of Brazil to go and check out their local blends.
No. So I work with a coffee roaster in the UK, and they import all the beans from Guatemala and all around the world to basically make specialty blends.
Amazing,
And I've basically tried a load of different flavors, knuckled down the ones I want to stock, what I enjoy, because I grind my beans every morning before I go to work. I've got my AeroPress at work, which I drink. So I've done it for
amazing,
years. So I'm a fanatic. So if I can have my own coffee range, and put some cool artwork on it, and people enjoy it, happy days. So
amazing.
it's something different than just offering, like clothing and like my candles as well. I, I do my own candles. Like I get the designs, I print them all on, I heat gun them
Nice.
all. So they're all handmade. And I've
Can you
always been art.
can you give us an example of a fragrance? Because I love a candle, right? So tell me what's a fragrance that you've got?
They're not even fragrant.
They're just candles.
No. They're
Oh man, I thought it was
literally
gonna be something like like
that's
Skeleton's Crypt or what I mean, some gory kind of like Surgeon's Theatre or something like that.
no, that's to come, man.
That's
That's
the
to
next
come.
thing. Well, talk
But
about
yeah,
what's next thing. I can understand the clothing and the coffee. What's next? Obviously, you've got. I mean, you thinking about doing like a beer, a whiskey, Johnny's? What's next?
no. So well, I'd love to do Johnny's, mate. That'd be amazing.
Save some money.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the next thing for me, what I ideally want to do is I want to get involved in a lot more embroidery work for my clothing range.
Nice.
I want to um I want to start in like sponsoring endorsing bands.
Yeah.
That's what
Well,
I want to
you
do.
know what? That's one of my questions, and we may as well jump into it now. Mike, one of my questions was, would you endorse a band, and
Yeah.
would you endorse one artist, and who would be your ideal person to endorse?
Oh, um, I would endorse a whole band. I think I'd want to endorse a band that was into this style of music,
Of
really.
course.
That's if they wanted to. That's if they wanted to actually do it. Um, but I mean, I want to do my own band to start off with,
Of course. Yeah, of course.
and
So
do my
yeah,
own
but
band.
did you get the website in for Temple 7?
Temple7.co.uk. And we're
Perfect.
a UK company. We ship worldwide. We ship
Perfect.
all over Europe, America, Australia. We ship everywhere, and we do that every week.
And I can second that because I have my t-shirt delivered to Spain. It was very quick. So I appreciate that,
Amazing,
Tom. So
amazing.
now
Yeah,
let's get on to your death metal outfit, Iron Tomb, which you play, and you play bass on, right?
play
So
bass. Yeah,
tell us about the band, what's happening. You released an EP called Vile Retribution, like I think
yeah,
2022, wasn't it? Which
yeah.
you introduced me to. To be fair, I didn't know the band before the brand before the band. It's quite a funny thing, really. So, Love it. Absolutely awesome. Four
Thanks,
tracks.
man.
Maybe a full length. What's going on?
Yeah, so I mean, to be honest, we've only done a handful of shows. The EP went down an absolute storm, and we're all in our 30s. We've all done bands for all our 20s. We've all been touring and gigging, and we've all got jobs. A lot of the people in the band have got kids and wives, and the band was never intended to be full on. It was we wanted to create with Iron Tomb. We're all really good friends, and we wanted to create the best music that we possibly could and get it down on record.
Mm.
We're not too fussed about playing as many shows as we can. All we want to do is create the best music that we can do. The past year, we've had a bit of a struggle because we lost a couple of members, unfortunately. And then it's been trying to find members, like drummer,
Yeah,
which can be very hard
very
to
difficult.
find. We've got one now. We've wrote a new record, and we're currently working with a drummer and getting that all sorted, and hopefully getting in the studio in a couple of months and getting that out there. And
The production on that EP is fantastic.
oh, I appreciate that. It's
Really fantastic.
yeah, I mean, shout out to Owen at Loud Noises Productions. He's recorded. I've been in the band with Owen. He's recorded loads of our music. He's an amazing producer. He's also in Cannock in the UK,
Right.
and he varies with what he records. He records everything. He does live festivals as well, and he's an amazing producer, absolutely amazing. And we couldn't have done it without him. But yeah, the sound of Iron Tomb is what we really worked hard on.
Mm.
But this time, you know, the way we're going to put different sort of guitar effects in there, and it's just going to be even heavier, even better, and yeah, it's going to be amazing. Just can't wait to start recording, man.
So what's the history of you guys? You say you wanted to create this amazing outfit, just playing decent music. You know,
Mm.
you've all been in bands and you're all friends. How did you get together? If you all knew each other before, what stopped you before? You know, what's the story?
Yeah, so me and the singer, Dave, or we call him the commander of armies. That's his nickname. We've all got nicknames in it. Iron
What's
Tomb.
yours, Tom?
Mine's the Earl of Bahar. And Gary, who writes all the music, he's the sorcerer.
Like it.
And the drummer, we haven't got one for him yet. He's
I guess it's like I see like a t-shirt range like Kiss with all your like faces on the front.
that's it. We
All
just
branding.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, me and Dave, we were in a band called Bound by Blood. God, I'm 33 now, so I think when I was 15, we were in a band together, and he's a bit older than me, and we did loads of gigs then up and down the country. And then I did a band called Odessa, where I met Gary, and that's where I did a lot of my touring. And I think we did that for about 6, 7 years,
Mhm.
and then yeah, we've just mutually been in bands, and then we went quiet for a bit with music, and then we just knew we're all into metal, we all live sort of local. Let's just create a band where we're actually truly passionate about it. I think the bands we did in the past, like Odessa, we enjoyed it, but it wasn't the music that we truly loved. And then now we're a bit older, we got nothing to fucking lose.
Yeah, of
We
course.
just want to create music that we just love, and we're not even bothered about gigging. That's the sad
Right.
thing. What we really want to, what we want to gig, but creating music's what we want to do the most. You know, we just love creating music.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and then we just got together over a beer one night and just said,
Nice.
let's do this, man. Let's do it. Yeah, so we all got
Nice.
all new gear and away we go.
So how much of the band bleeds into Temple Seven brand? You know, is it difficult to do band t-shirts without blowing the lines, or do you kind of like keep a straight split?
Yeah, I mean, luckily, Iron Tomb we've only released a couple of bits of merch.
Right.
You know. So I think moving forward, I've got to be kind of careful.
Yeah.
I've got to be careful. But yeah, I mean, I mean, the band means so much to me. Like that will always be like a priority,
Yeah.
you know, in some ways. But yeah, you could say that the Iron 2 merch and the Temple 7 merch kind of gels together
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in somewhat. So yeah, I've got to be careful with
I was going to say, does the
how that.
band help the brand or does the brand help the band? You know what I mean? It's like, there's going to be some kind of, obviously
To
it's
be
down the
honest,
same
to be
road.
honest, I've never used the brand the band page for leverage.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
never done that. I've never associated myself like on the band page
yeah.
with Temple. Like I want to do it off my own accord.
And I suppose that's my next question was, would you ever take T7 gear to a,
No,
um, to a gig and sell it at a
no,
merch table? Do you keep
no, I
that
wouldn't.
completely split?
Yeah, I would. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do
Just
that.
have a stall down the road.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. And like this year as well, one of my main goals this year it was to get into markets and do market stalls. And I've got my first one booked the 9th of March in Coventry at
Right.
the Bristol Alternative Markets. So that's been a big goal of mine. So I'm
Nice.
currently getting everything set up for that as well. And I want to try and do loads more around the UK.
Yeah.
You know, just want to get
Awesome.
the brand out there physically
For
more than just
sure.
have online presence. You know,
Exactly. Now, how can we find the band? How can everyone listen to you guys? Where does everyone tune in to find you?
so you can go on Spotify and if you type in Iron Tomb Vile Retribution, you've got a 4 track EP on there.
Awesome.
You go on Instagram, Facebook, all the socials. We're all over it. You know, and yeah, you can drop us a message. We'll talk to you. You know, we've got merch in there as well,
Great
CDs as
stuff.
well. We had our CD released with Mercenary Press, and they were fantastic to work with as well. And we yeah they pressed tapes for us as well. They had tapes
Awesome.
made, and
Awesome.
yeah, it's amazing collector's item.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. No one's got a tape player, but everyone's got tapes now.
I can't play it, but it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks great.
It looks
So,
great.
so, so you say you haven't done many shows, but what shows do you have any on the horizon that you can talk about? Or
No,
fair
no,
enough.
no. That's simply.
Yeah,
We we want to record this album. Our focus is literally getting the album sorted. I mean, we've
yeah.
been offered shows, but with the drummer situation,
Of
we kind
course.
of had to put it on pause.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, so now we've got a drummer, and we're just head down focused on getting this track done because the shows we did originally were all amazing. We played with them Deaf. We played
Mm.
we've left to die. You know, and Deaf's one of our favourite bands. So that was kind of
Yeah,
like an honour.
yeah.
You know, we played some killer bands, but we only had 4 songs.
Right.
So the next time we go and play, we want to have a set pretty much double that length. You know, we really want to focus it. We want to get the record out the way, then work on the live performance. You know, and absolutely nailing it. And yeah, we get quite a few gig offers, so we'll get gigging straight away once the
For sure.
album's.
So what's the timeline for the album? When can we expect something, do you think, realistically?
Um, I'm hoping September time.
Right,
If,
okay.
if everything goes right, September, October. That's
Yeah.
ideally when we want it to be released.
Awesome.
You know. So
Not
yeah,
long, mate. That's not long in the music
not
world.
long, not long. And this baby,
Yeah. Beauty.
that's what I play with all the time. That's what gives me
Yeah.
the dead fingers.
Yeah, of course. Of
Yeah,
course.
man.
I think you've answered this question. What do you prefer, studio or stage? But I think you prefer the studio, right?
I love creating music with Gary and Dave. I absolutely love creating music, but I just love headbanging on stage and just getting into it.
So
I've
you're a live guy then. You like
I've always been a live guy.
Mhm.
I think there's a difference with like the bands I was in previously. Like we toured a lot, you know, we traveled a lot, we've gigged everywhere, and it's refreshing with this band. Like we're just concentrating a lot more on just writing music that we're really passionate about, you know,
Yeah.
and just spending ages writing
Yeah.
the best tunes we can, you
Mm.
know, and scrapping and starting again. And there's no pressure on this, there's no rush, you
Hmm.
know, and we don't need to rush. I think that's what we've got to get in our heads.
Of
People want to
course.
hear new tunes, but if we wait a little bit longer, the audience will hear something amazing from us.
Yeah, of
You
course,
know,
of
we
course.
just want to hold out that little bit longer, so we're even more proud of what we're creating.
talking about amazing, what new bands are you checking out lately, and any new albums of any note to tell us about that you can suggest that
Oh
we might not have
man,
heard of?
let me get my spot. I've listened to so much stuff. Well, I was listening. I, what was listening to today? Let's
Yeah,
have a
go on,
look.
that's what we want to hear.
Okay, Eternal Lord.
Right?
I'm listening to them. Have you heard of Eternal Lord?
I haven't, no. I will check it
No,
out.
they're a band from a long, long time ago, and they're a metal band, and the singer was in a band called I Killed the Prom Queen.
Right.
They're fantastic, and I was
I'll
listening
check
to
that.
it
Yeah.
Dayside as well, Cannibal Corpse, Violence and
Besides
Imagination.
their new album's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah,
Of
definitely.
course.
And I've just been head down in Blood Incantation,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and
Oh, yeah.
they're just phenomenal, phenomenal.
Amazing. Oh,
And I
amazing.
think last week, me and Dave from the band went to go and see Frozen Soul and Creeping Death in
Yeah.
Birmingham,
Yeah. How was
and
it?
that was incredible, incredible. Absolutely, we've seen them play before a few times,
Hmm.
but Frozen Soul just keep getting better. And
Better.
the way the singer just works the crowd is amazing. You
Watching
can
the
just
stagecraft, learning the stagecraft. You know what I mean? You can pick up
that's
things
it.
like
Yeah, and they come out of a big ice machine now at the start.
that.
Out of a big ice machine.
Funny.
Um,
So lately, big news. What do you think about the shot news last week that Slayer are getting back together? What do you think to that? Have you got an opinion on it?
yeah, I kind of like I love Slayer, so I'd watch him again, but no, fuck it. Yeah, bring it on.
With Kerry
Yeah,
King doing his thing, I mean, he must be like, oh, Jesus Christ, guys. I've started my own thing now. Now you want to get the band back together. It's like,
I know.
I've got time.
I know because he's doing the Mastodon tour, isn't he?
Yeah.
And
It's like the
yeah,
timing is like, what's going on?
they probably got jealous that he's out
I think
there.
so. I think
They probably
Tom's
got
missus.
jealous.
I think Tom's missus was like, get out the casa, mate. Come on, you gotta go get. You got to do something. Kerry's busy. You know what I mean? And this talk that
I,
Dave Lombardo's not involved. Obviously, he's not involved. He's not spoken to him. It's like crazy.
no, I love Slayer, man. I absolutely love them since I was a kid, having the Rain in Blood DVD.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, they're the ultimate, mate. The ultimate.
Sure.
So getting back together all day, I'll watch.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
watch it all night, mate.
Well, I hope they get over to Europe because that'll be pretty awesome.
Oh, I hope so.
I want my kids to go and see him. You know what I mean? Like the old school times. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right. You ready for some silly questions?
go on then.
Okay. If you could steal credit for any piece of art, song, film, book, etc., which one would you claim?
Art book or song?
Anything. Anything that's from the past that's out there that you like, what would you like to say you did or you wrote or you drew or you whatever?
Uh, uh, I'd say the opening riff for Paranoid Black Sabbath.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Superpower would be to read people's thoughts.
Nice.
So I
Save a
know,
lot of time, wouldn't you?
yeah, save a lot of time and get rid of the bullshit.
What two items would you take on a desert island or, if you were shipwrecked, you got food and water, what two items would you take with you?
Probably a guitar and extra strings.
You wouldn't change any bass. Oh, are you talking bass or are you talking like six string?
I'll take an actual guitar.
I was going to say, because you wouldn't
'Cause
change your bass strings, would you?
absolutely not.
What was the last gift you gave someone, Tom?
Last gift I gave someone was flowers for my girlfriend.
Oh, that's sweet. Valentine's Day, not so long ago. That'd be it.
Exactly.
So if you could choose one song to play every time you walked into the room for the rest of your life, what song would it be?
Probably, can I say this?
Anything you want.
Stripped, Raped and Strangled by Cannibal.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. It's a song type.
It's classic.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know the title, but it's a genius song.
It's a great track. As a strings guy, in your opinion, what's the heaviest riff of all time?
Ever riff of all time. I do like. Oh my God. That's a hard question. I do like Bleed My Sugar. Got it.
Go on then.
In the Minds of Evil. Decide.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
that track. Love
Yeah.
that track.
Yeah.
Okay, what's on the band's bucket list? What you want to achieve with the band?
I think we want to achieve, like, humbly, an album,
Yeah.
a vinyl,
Yeah. Nice.
and another album, another album,
Maybe some
and just
gigs thrown in there. Any special gigs you'd like to play? Anything?
we love to play gigs. We love to play gigs. We want to play with some awesome death metal bands. I think for me, like playing with Obituary
Oh
would
yeah,
be amazing.
the Tardy Boys, love it.
Yeah, definitely. Playing gigs, releasing, and just carrying on making music. Even though we're in our 30s, we've all got shit to do,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
we've all
yeah.
got time to carry on playing music. And yeah,
It's
man,
awesome. Okay, in 3 words, describe the band Iron Tomb. 3 words.
passionate, solos, medieval,
Love it. What Iron Tomb track should I play next?
Vol Retribution,
What is the most used emoji in your phone?
the aubergine.
I get that so many times. Now I've got a personal dilemma now. It's late in Athens right now. Do I have pizza or kebab? You decide for me. In other words, what's your favorite after show snack? I'm literally going to go and do this. It's either a kebab or a pizza. Tell me.
Pizza,
Yes, I'm so pleased you said that.
pizza,
Tom,
because you can also get kebab toppings.
not this place, but I'm going to go for pizza. You said that first. Tom, thanks for joining me on the show. Good luck with Temple 7, your awesome clothing brand and coffee
Right.
and whatever comes in the future. And of course, Iron Tomb, I'm going to play a track next. Keep in touch, mate. Thank you.
Thank you ever so much. Really appreciate having me on.